Hi, my beautiful ladies. Today we are visiting Russia. Russia is the largest country in the world by area, extending across 11 time zones and sharing land borders with 14 countries. It is Europe's most populous country. There are so many things to say about the Russian culture and the Russian people who are so diverse and beautiful. As you may know, Russian women participate in many beauty contests and they are often winners. Russian beauty is not only the product of genetics but also of intensive face, body, and hair care. In Russia, many women have beautiful, full, and long hair. Some even have knee, ankle, or even floor-length hair. Can you imagine that? You may not necessarily want to have this length of hair, but we can learn a lot from the Russian women. So let's visit the Russian women and ask them about their hair care habits. Russia, as the largest country in the world, has great ethnic diversity, is a multinational state, and is home to over 190 ethnic groups nationwide. So you can imagine that there is not one hair care routine, but there are multiple hair care routines. But we are going to see some of the traditional hair treatments Russian women have been using for centuries, helping them to have their beautiful hair, and we will also talk about their general, or let's say cultural attitude when it comes to their natural hair. The charms and beauty of Russian women are known all over the world. However, the natural desire to take care of themselves and look their best is not the only trait that sets Russian women apart from everybody else. Most Russian women know how to stay up to date with the latest fashion trends, apply the makeup the proper way, and groom their hair to look their best. Apparently, so many natural conditions in Russia could make it more difficult for these women to take care of their hair, like the hot water that people usually use for their daily activities, and also the temperature, which is not always, how can I say that? Which is not always warm in some regions of Russia. But these obstacles do not stop them from having the beautiful hair they have. As recently as a century ago, it would be practically impossible to see a Russian woman with short hair. You also wouldn't be likely to see a woman outside with loosely worn hair. Instead, women of all ages wore their hair long and braided. A long braid was a common feature for women in ancient Russia. It was a way to tell whether a woman was single or in a relationship. An unmarried woman would wear a single braid until a fiancé came into the picture, and then she would twine a bright ribbon into her hair. Meanwhile, only married women could wear two braids. Braids have been considered a sign of a woman's beauty since ancient times. In fact, during those times, it was already believed that the condition of the hair shows the state of health of a woman and her genetic inheritance. It was uncommon for women to cut their hair, so they would grow it for a long period of time and braid their long hair. The Russian braid symbolized honor and pride and had several meanings in Old Russia. One of the main things that people in Russia believed was that hair is the representation of a person's life force and as such had to be treated with reverence. And many people in Russia still believe that to be true today. They believe that hair have to be treated with reverence. In my opinion, this is a beautiful belief to have. Young children's hair was not cut until they reached a certain age. Girls learn to look after their hair from a young age and only allow those closest to them to come and braid their hair. Some Russian women are known to have healthy, smooth, and silky hair, and just like their skin, they use natural recipes for their hair that contribute to nourishing the hair and permanently maintaining its color and smoothness. Among the most important of these recipes is the rye recipe, where they heat a sufficient amount of water and soak a handful of rye flour in it. Then they apply it to their wet hair, massage their scalp and leave it for some time, after which the hair is washed in the usual way. Rye flour is mostly used as a shampoo. It makes their hair smooth and strong. The magnesium in rye promotes hair growth as well. This natural recipe helps many women to have long and healthy hair. Of course, they are also consistent with this simple hair treatment. In Russia, good hair is all about a balanced scalp and using hydrating masks. To effectively balance the scalp's pH and stimulate hair growth, Russian women will often use a homemade tonic. For example, some Russian women use cayenne pepper and vodka as a hair serum. When I researched more about it, some research suggests that capsaicin found in cayenne pepper stimulates hair growth. The capsaicin in cayenne pepper may be used to treat alopecia areata. Most peppers in the same family as cayenne pepper are rich in vitamins A, C, and E, and folate. The lack of these vitamins is known to play a role in hair loss. Now, to create the mixture, if you want to try this hair serum, I found a recipe and they say you can use 1 part of pepper with 2 parts of vodka. Cut up 1 cup of cayenne peppers into small strips, or you could use ground cayenne pepper, and add 2 cups of 80% vodka, that is 40% of alcohol. You can add the vodka to a bottle or a jar, but do not use anything higher than 80 proof or higher than 40% alcohol. You should leave the tonic in a dark place for 2 or 3 days and strain out the peppers. On wet hair, add the tonic all over the scalp and massage it in for several minutes. Leave it in for 30 minutes as it removes buildup and stimulates blood flow for new growth. Wash and condition the ends for the best results. Now, culturally, Russian women also like to adorn their hair to make it more beautiful, to match their outfits, and also for special events. Headdresses are a cultural thing in Russia, and they are also often decorated. Each region has its own headdresses, and they are very different. Some of them were worn especially in the past and not really today, but others are still worn today in many regions of Russia. In the past, unmarried girls wore bright ribbons, headbands, wraps, and other various intricately tied scarves. After marriage, women completely changed their clothing. Married women completely hid their hair under a headdress with a scarf on top. The kokoshnik is a traditional Russian headdress worn by women and girls to accompany the sarafan, which is a type of dress. Historically, a kokoshnik is a headdress worn by married women, though maidens also wore a headdress very similar to a kokoshnik, but open in the back, named a povязка. Today, Russian women still wear headdresses and they are very beautiful and unique. In Russia, they also have ushanka, which is a Russian fur cap with heel flaps that can be tied up to the crown of the cap or tied at the chin to protect the ears from the cold. They mostly use it for the cold, but many people, not only in Russia but in other countries too, use them as a fashionable piece. Also, have you heard about Russian hair extensions? Apparently, Russia is one of the countries where good natural hair extensions are from. And some even consider the Russian hair extensions to be the best in the world. Normally, when people buy a virgin Russian hair, it comes from a single donor. It is not chemically processed, it is soft, strong, and one of the best hair extensions in the world. Genetics, lifestyle, and diet make the virgin Russian hair be the best hair in the world. But it is no surprise to me that Russian hair is important in the hair extensions world. The thing is, many Russian women have long, healthy, beautiful hair, but it is not only because of genetics. They also live a way to protect and take care of their hair, and they are a good example for us. By the way, I need you to understand that not all Russian women have long, beautiful, healthy hair. Like for other women in the world, some Russian women do not give their hair the time and the care it needs, and it shows. So you cannot use the genetics aspect as an excuse, okay? Russian women are encouraging me to continue to take care of my hair with what is available to me, and also from time to time to adorn my hair with beautiful things. I hope you will be encouraged too. Okay? Thanks for watching the video. I hope to see you in my next one. Take care, my beautiful ladies. До свидания.